looking at the teams, yes, we have California Mayhem in the orange with black trim, the signature orange. They could not be lost in any rink in the country. And Quad City in the purple with the green trim, almost reminiscent of the Attack Pack from years ago. Little Derby history.
So our officials for this first game, skating officials, that's the referee, Sergeant Major, Harley Quinn Davidson, Strapping Youngbeard, Honey Badger, Flo Block, Sir Lancelot, and Richie Cranium. The non-skating officials, Toxic Narcotic, Ms. Hyde, Melotrauma, Optimus Prime, Nellfire, Prim Reaper, Hannah, Cupcake, and Darth Bling.
Okay, on the California Mayhem, in orange again, 07 Killa K, 08 Killa Willa, 106 Maddie Hatter, 1215 Sacagakilya, 13 Relentless, 18 Kaylor Swift, 25 Nacho Tape Boy, 280 Mad Max, 323 Anaphylactic Shock, 329 Rosilla, number 5 is Tornado, 5150 Diva Destroyer, 54 Widow, 59 Queen Relentless, and 911 The A-Train.
And introducing our purple team, that's the Quad City Rollers Junior Derby, the Orphan Brigade, number 02, T-Rex Lex, 101, Goldie Knox, 1124, Hedrick, 123, Pink Nightmare, 126, Awesome Sauce, 14, Tank Herbell, 26, Iron Man, 3, Kitten O'War, 325, Sasquatch, 354, Ladies Man, 4, Bulletproof, 5, Disgracer, 630, Jack Skatington, 800 Slam, and number 82, Little Gurmaid. Our referees are doing the equipment check. Speaking of reminiscent of Derby, that's not something that we see in WFTDA much anymore. A couple rule sets ago, we did away with that as a requirement anyways. But we are doing the gear checks for our Junior Derby here, and we thank everybody for joining us. And just as a reminder, we do have our World Cup starting tomorrow, that's Monday, right here at the same venue. We are coming to you live from the Feasterville Sportsplex, just northeast of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, USA. Also the home of the ECDX tournament every year. Join us live on twitch.tv Monday, that's July 23rd, and Tuesday, July 24th for the Junior Roller Derby World Cup, streaming live by WFTDA. Head to twitch.tv/WFTDA and watch both days for free. If you have questions or comments about the awesome action you're seeing this weekend, use the hashtag #TalkToJRDA, all one word, to chat with us on Twitter. And don't forget to follow JRDA on Twitter using @JRDA_rocks.
I can't say again how much fun the World Cup is going to be on the first day tomorrow with the round robin situation. Everybody plays everybody, 30 minutes at a time, total nonstop action, and we're rotating too, similar to them.
Sounds amazing. We've got our first serve about to start here, lining up for California, where with the orange jerseys, you can't miss them. Number 18, that's Kaylor Swift. And Kaylor is taking on number 101, Goldie Knox from Quad City. We've had an amazing job by our cameramen, or our camera people, all weekend long. Just professional. I mean, what we're seeing here is what you're seeing, and it's an amazing view of the action.
Opening on the inside, and lead jam it is for California and Kaylor Swift. But, well, an attempt at a hop over the apex, but caught, and correction as is necessary to avoid a track cut. Through the pack is Goldie Knox.
Goldie Knox now about to start a scoring pass. Goldie is in the engagement zone. That jam called off by Kaylor Swift. 3 on the board for California there, and 0 for Quad City.
Under a second to spare, so good track awareness, good start. California strikes first. Of course, that's too soon to call anything, but for morale, again, we will see what happens here as number 280 Mad Max meets 354 Ladies Man.
Now, these names are something that we've been hearing and talking about a lot over the course of the weekend. This is at least the third or fourth game I've seen Ladies Man skate in, and they're doing an amazing job.
And a cut called, that was on a blocker.
That would be number 123. That would be Pink Nightmare from Quad City. I think that was a forearm penalty, says our house announcers. Lead jammer going to Quad City with Ladies Man getting the L symbol from the jammer referee.
Okay, 1-1 for lead jam calls,
yes.
But it's a power jam.
Yes. Number 280 from California, Mad Max, seated on a forearm penalty.
And through on a scoring pass, first lead change. Those of you who celebrate those, 1 point for each opposing blocker, 1 for lapping the jammer. Of course, jammer in the box. Anyone in the box automatically scored upon as each new scoring pass begins, and another one, and that makes 10. And 1 blocker each headed to the penalty box.
Ladies and men coming into the engagement zone there, just past the pivot line into the pack. California throwing down the 3-wall. But Ladies Man comes out with another grand slam. That's 15 points scored so far in this jam.
And 6:30 there, purple with the defense. Jack Skatington on that last pass, however, through the pack. And that completes the initial for Mad Max.
Another 4 on the board there by Ladies Man. It's a 19-point jam Ladies Man picked up there and calls it off.
2 blockers in the penalty box, 1 standing for Quad City to start the next jam, as we'll have 1-2-6 Awesome Sauce against 59 for the California Mayhem Queen Relentless. So 19 points.
California with the pack advantage in this jam, as we talked about, those 2 blockers in the penalty box. One of them is standing and just finishing 10-second.
California running that offense as much as possible, and through the opening on the, no, it wasn't. It was a track cut.
Track assessed to the California jammer. Queen Relentless is going to give 354. Ladies Man jamming a 2nd time in a row, a power jam.
2 jammer penalties in 2 jams, and a low block on a Quad City blocker. So 2 blockers again in the box, and coming in and touching those chairs as they sit down. I'm holding my breath on that, but get those nerves out and be careful there.
Right now, Queen Relentless is standing in the box, re-enters the track. I believe Queen needs to complete her initial pass. Crashes into the back of number 1124 there, Hedrick, and just takes a spill. Queen Relentless gets back on her skates. She's up to the front of the pack. 1124 again, Hedrick with a block out of bounds. And another cut is being assessed at Queen Relentless. So that's 2 jammer penalties for Queen in this jam.
And once again, 2 blockers in the box for Quad City. So as far as offensive power, we'll see along with you in that and attempts, but fortunately now you can correct yourself and did so. Otherwise, we wouldn't see quite as many attempts as we see now.
If this was 2 years ago, that would have been another jammer penalty.
2 blockers now for California in the penalty box, 1 returning for Quad City, and here comes the jammer. They can't hear us, so I can say that.
5 on the board there by Ladies Man, certainly picking up the bulk of the points very early in this game still. We're only in our 3rd jam.
Right you are, 20, and there, wow, 30 points total. A 30-point jam, that is the record so far, to add to the 19 in the previous jam. Nothing for California in the last 2 jams following that 3 points to start the game.
California now down 2 blockers, 3 blockers, 2 blockers in the pivot, and they're sending out number 18, Kaylor Swift, to take the jammer star against number 126 from Quad City. That's Awesome Sauce.
Following this official timeout, let's see, the A train is standing, so we'll be going pretty soon. And pivot in the box and another blocker in the box. So one of those rare times when there is but 1 lone blocker. We'll see what happens. And that one low, did as well as possible, just being one blocker.
Awesome Sauce picking up lead for Quad City. Kaylor Swift is released from the box. Kaylor's completed her initial pass now. Awesome Sauce very up on his pack awareness, calls that him off before Kaylor can pick up any points for California. We're now up 53-3.
Yep, did as well as possible there and exactly as expected. So we'll reset.
Queen Relentless now becoming one of the common jammers in California's jammer rotation, taking the star 101 Goldie Knox for Quad City. Pivot standing for California. Each team now down one blocker in the box. California's down their jammer and now one additional blocker. Kaylor Swift picking up lead for California.
About a third lap lead. And scoring pass, calling it, and we'll see if it was in time, though. 3-3. Oh, boy, okay. Well, it effectively doubles the score for California, but, yeah, those of you who haven't watched in a while, remember, jam is not over until that fourth whistle blast.
You've got number 25, Nacho Tape Boy, wearing the jammer star for California, and once again, ladies man jamming for Quad City. Quad City with the pack advantage now. Nacho Tape Boy comes through the pack up the middle and picks up lead. We're jammer on jammer right now.
All right.
Inches apart. And we've been seeing, so far in this weekend, a lot of jammers also working defensive position, too. Blocking the opposing jammer more than they are trying to score points. So Ladies Man coming out with 4 on the board.
And multiplayer block called on 325 Sasquatch.
Nacho Tape Boy completes a scoring pass, putting 4 on the board for California. So no harm done to the scoreboard. We're 4-4. Nacho Tape Boy jumps the apex, puts another 4 up.
Surveyed the pack, did not come headlong into the pack, and you saw the effect as a full complement of California blockers.
Oh, a tumble over there at turn 2. Takes Ladies Man out of bounds. 2 lone blockers up front forming a wall. They go out of play. They have to let Ladies Man go. And Ladies Man, with a no pass, no penalty, puts 3 more on the Quad City scoreboard.
30 seconds to go in the jam. California losing a pivot, otherwise penalty box is clear. Well, until that multiplayer block, California down 2 blockers now. And wow. And California blocker all over the place, lying in the infield and headed to the box as well. So California Mayhem once again.
Oh, California lost. They're down now. Two blockers, I believe 1 blocker is in the rotation for the penalty, and a jammer off the track.
And the jam ends with the only skaters in bounds, the Quad City Rollers, the full pack. Woo!
So any chance that California had to equalize the score a little bit, kind of disabled right now, while California's jammer, Nacho Tape Boy, seated in the box. 2 blockers and a pivot there in the rotation for penalties. So we're starting this next jam with 1 California blocker on the track, and number 4, number 4, Bulletproof, jamming for Quad City. And Bulletproof gets past that lone California blocker and picks up lead.
And you know, it ate up 10 seconds, so did their job,
Some much needed relief now for California as their pivot, Kaylor Swift, re-enters from the box. Bulletproof puts another 5 on the board in the scoring pass. Kaylor Swift back off for a penalty.
Pivot headed to the box and fortunately able to tag out with another blocker. We'll have to check the penalties at halftime, but it surely seems that California has accrued many more.
There's another California blocker off to the box.
We'll have to check. Okay, switching places, fewer than 10 seconds to serve for Rosilla, and that's how we will start the next jam. 14 points unanswered for the Quad City Rollers.
So just over 10 minutes to our game. Quad City already up to 81 points. California still kind of stuck at 16. 59 taking the Jammer star for California. Queen Relentless. 126 for Quad City. Awesome sauce.
Quad City with 4 double-digit jams. California with 1 at this point. And with 2 fewer blockers for the California Mayhem, it is lead jam for Awesome Sauce. Pivot returning to play, waiting on the engagement zone to positionally block and get into position up front. And good work there. However, through again is Awesome Sauce, and that is a 5-point pass. And through on the initial is Queen Relentless. Kind of trips into the pack, trying to call off the jam. There we go. And Sasquatch sharing a word with the opposing jammer. Probably hopefully a good job or a my bad, as nothing more comes out of that. 7 points for the Quad City Rollers. Again, 16 for the California Mayhem. And currently, let's see, following that 3-3 jam, we are at a, 32-10 rally for Quad City as Goldie Knox meets Killawilla.
Killawilla's first time jamming out. That might be because of the number of penalties we've been seeing so far on jammers for California. We have a dangerous spot to be in right now. Clockwise blocking, I think, penalty on number 4. Bulletproof for Quad City. Looked like that was a clockwise block on Killawilla. So Killawilla still up.
Inside was open for about half a second, and Goldie Knox takes it. But through on the initial is Killawilla, as here's a scoring pass and the call off. Waiting on the count. There we go, 4 points.
So just a quick shout out to Goldie Knox. Goldie Knox is also a USARS skater with the Chicago Redhawks. Tried out for the men's team USA during USARS National. So good job, Goldie Knox.
3-5-4 ladies man to meet number 18, Kaylor Swift, who was the captain yesterday for California's game.
California, finally a much-needed lead jam for California as Kaylor Swift gets lead. A 5-on-5 on the track now.
Wow.
Said that too soon.
Yeah, first lead jam in 5 for California,
yes.
And this will be a power jam.
Oh, Kaylor Swift. Kaylor Swift's getting a cutting the track penalty, so Kaylor is off.
So jammers will tag out. It will be about 10, 11, 12 seconds served by my estimation. Blockers awaiting.
While we're talking about Kaylor Swift, just some FYI, Kaylor is actually about to age out of Junior Derby, and she'll be attending the Bakersfield Community College studying general education. So shout out to Kaylor.
All right. Man, 3 skaters down, and you heard that wherever you are here in the nation.
I think I felt that blocker's head hit the floor.
Derby versus Awake now, 92-16, with a quarter of the way into the game here. Again, the 9th place game on the open track as ladies man left with 1 blocker who was almost out of play. And there we go. That is a 5-point pass. Kaylor Swift on the inside returns to play, picking up where she left off, which makes it a 4-point pass. Oh!
I'm trying to determine if the big inflatable penguin beneath us is the alternate ref next to the penalty box or a mascot for one of the teams, perhaps.
Yeah. We've seen unicorns, we've seen penguins, we've seen
the bench coach is a unicorn. 4 on the board by Kaler. Quad City breaking the 100-point mark now. California at 24, and we're just past the first half of our first period.
For pacing purposes, worth pointing out, 10-8 net just 2 for Quad City there. Again, we've seen comebacks, especially on the female track. We've seen some amazing comebacks. So
absolutely.
We'll see what happens here.
The Gotham Juniors game yesterday had an amazing comeback in the second half. So it's still way too early to call. Queen Relentless taking the Jammer Star. There's 2 whistles. Queen Relentless lead jammer for California.
2 in a row. Now Ironman's turn, except left up with 3 blockers and through on the initial. Excuse me, Quad City losing their pivot. 11-24 Hedrick.
4 and 3 in that jam in favor of Quad City, picking up the 4. And there's Kaler Swift taking the Jammer Star once again. Some communication between the jammer and blocker for Quad City. Goldie Knox taking the Jammer Star for Quad City.
Going with what works, Kaler Swift lead jam previously. But this time much more defense on the initial pass than we've seen probably the last jam or 2 or 3 entering turn 2. And both, all right, jammers engage each other, and
Kaler Swift tries to get through the pack up the middle, falls behind, speeds up forward, takes a hit, still comes out. Now Kaler's not lead jammer. Lead jammer is actually going to number 101, Goldie Knox, who's knocked out of bounds and calls it off.
Did earn lead jam in turn 2-ish, despite how that jam ended up 0-0 and smart call off. Remember, you can join the conversation anytime using the hashtag #2JRDA, and be sure to follow the Junior Roller Derby Association at JRDA_rocks. If you do that, you will see that the brackets have been posted for the
On a scoring pass.
And in time it was 4-0 jam once again. California Mayhem, a super team made up of skaters from all over the state who make the practices and come out competitively. We've seen them before, and currently Both of these teams entering as number 9 and 10 respectively, and will exit 9 and 10 or 10 and 9.
Right.
We'll see what happens.
California being coached by Carrie Kraft, also known as Nacho Mama, and Nick Robinson.
Any relation to Nacho Tape Boy? That I don't know.
I think that's a safe assumption to make.
Oh boy, power jam for Kaylor Swift.
Okay. Kaylor Swift with an apex jump, coming out with 5 on the board. California has a full 4 blockers and jammer on the track right now. Goldie Knox standing in the box on his last couple seconds of that penalty. Kaylor Swift up front, gets past the 2-wall, comes out, and our jam referee is flashing 5 points, and Kaylor calls that jam off.
10 points for California Mayhem. That is the first double-digit jam we have had in 5 jams, as the runaway scoring has definitely settled down. And in the last 5 jams, California with 13 points, Quad City with 12. Now that gap needs, of course, to be bridged, but as far as pacing, it's evened out a bit.
So California sending out a new jammer in this rotation, number 106, Maddie Hatter. And Maddie is hung up in the pack while Quad City picks up lead with number 354, Ladies Man jamming once again. Maddie Hatter out of the pack, completes her initial pass. We have a stagnant pack up there. Ladies Man breaks free. I see a multiplayer blocking penalty being assessed to somebody there. That's the California pivot. Maddie Hatter out with 4. And Ladies Man also out with 4. California's blocker, number 07, Killa K, taking Ladies Man out of bounds there at turn 4, buying some time for Maddie Hatter to complete a scoring pass.
But if not for 11-24 Hedrick, one-on-one, and there it is, the block out. Pivot back in play as well, and reaching the jammer also.
California, I believe, just lost. Nice. Thought I saw a low block hand signal being assessed to somebody, but oh, okay, that might have been a misconduct penalty being assessed to California's pivot. Maybe a blocking while blocking down skater, perhaps. Didn't quite catch it up here.
That is 54 Widow, 13-8, net 5 for Quad. Nacho Tape Boy's mom is Nacho Mama, says Tanya Prochnow, former president of the JRDA. Thank you for listening today and talking to us. Hashtag #TalkToJRDA.
That's right. If you do want to talk or give us any kind of feedback or comments, if you have any questions about the action you're seeing, use the hashtag #TalkToJRDA. That's the number 2, #TalkToJRDA, to chat with us on Twitter. And don't forget to follow JRDA on Twitter using @JRDA_rocks. 101 Goldie Knox off on a jammer penalty. Power jam for number 59, Queen Relentless for California.
So this is California's big or one of their big chances. It won't be made up in one jam, but definitely bridging the gap.
Queen Relentless was blocked out of bounds here at the apex. Comes back in behind that blocker and flashes up 5 more points for the California scoreboard. California with a little bit of an advantage right now. There's another 5 on the board while Goldie Knox comes back in from that penalty.
Offense being run, and effectively so, as the initial pass is done for Goldie Knox.
Queen Relentless makes a decision to call that jam off.
High fives all around for California Mayhem. 17 big points.
You can see that bench coach. You can see the adrenaline as he's in there with a little bit of a huddle with his teammates. I think I can feel the excitement from up here.
Last 6 jams, California Mayhem 27, Quad City 21.
Good job, California. California putting out Maddie Hatter once again to take on 354 Ladies Man. And our penalty box is clear. So
what?
We have a full 5-on-5 in this jam. strong defensive blocking there by both teams, but Ladies Man coming out with lead jammer. Maddie Hatter is stuck in the back. 11-24, Hedrick helping to form a wall holding back Maddie Hatter. I see a tap of the helmet by our jammer referees. That means there's a 5-pointer there with a jammer lap point.
And about a half-lap lead now as Maddie Hatter breaches the pack, and we'll be approaching in your picture momentarily, but the jam is called. 9 total.
We just had a jam without a penalty. That's hopefully we can keep up that good streak, because the jammer penalties that we saw early in this game were making me a little bit nervous. Taylor Swift taking the jammer star again. Number 4, Bulletproof jamming for Quad City.
First time seeing Bulletproof in, let's see, 12 jams. Tripped up.
It's a low blocking penalty. No, I see an out of play or an illegal contact penalty being assessed to a California blocker. No, the jammer. Quad City's jammer. A Bulletproof seated in the penalty box. So Taylor Swift now on a power jam.
Pack speeds, yeah.
Kaler is sprinting around the track, beginning her scoring pass. She gets past her own blockers, only has 2 blockers on the track that she's got to contend with, and that's 5 on the board thanks to Kaler.
Pack now at a standstill, as much as is legal.
California now has all 4 blockers, but Quad City is down a jammer and 2 blockers.
And a miss.
Good.
For 5 more points.
Good job, Kaler Swift, closing that points gap up a little bit more.
Calls off the jam just as the opposing jammer enters the pack again. 10 points scored unanswered by the California Mayhem, 136-72. '59 Queen Relentless.
And that's 101. Goldie Knox taking the star for Quad City. Another jam with a 5-on-5, an open penalty box.
First period coming to a close, just over 2 minutes to go. We'll see coaching-wise how this jam goes and if we will have another jam as Quad City loses a blocker.
This was a very quick first period. Well, seemingly, they're all 30 minutes. Hedrick taking Queen Relentless out of bounds there, earns himself a penalty. Queen Relentless back in the track, completes her initial pass.
And Hedrick, quite incredulous expression, reaching the penalty box. 2 blockers in the box, 1 standing for the Quad City Rollers with 4 points scored in that jam, 140-72 with under 90 seconds to go.
Yes, here's number 25, Nacho Tape Boy taking the jammer star for California. Ladies Man is just in and out of that jammer rotation. Every 2 or 3 jams, Ladies Man is jamming. Pack advantage going to California. Quad City down 1 blocker, 1 pivot in the penalty box. Nacho Tape Boy up to the front of the pack and a California lead jam. Nacho Tape Boy is about half a lap now ahead of California, or Quad City's jammer, 354 Ladies Man, who's now entering the pack on a scoring pass. Nacho Tape Boy puts up what we think is going to be a solid 4 points. 3 points for Nacho Tape Boy.
4-3, yeah, call off a little late, but net 1 for Quad.
It's going to cost them a point, but we're down to the last couple seconds, so most likely this jam will be the final jam of our first period, going in with 144 Quad City, 75 California. Pack advance going to California with the Quad City pivot in the box. Kaler Swift and Awesome Sauce taking the jammer star. Kaler Swift picking up lead jammer. Awesome Sauce almost squeezes through on the inside at turn 1, gets knocked down and completes his initial pass. Kaler Swift, on the other hand, is on her scoring pass. Kaler Swift's getting some resistance up front, almost avoids a block, goes out of bounds, unfortunately. Hedrick, number 124, with the rollback on Kaler Swift.
I think Kaler considered calling off the jam when dropped in turn 4.
Yes. And a cutting the track penalty being assessed to Awesome Sauce.
Definitely will not call it now.
Right, it's going to give a power jam to Kaler Swift, and we have a full minute now and 10 seconds left to our final jam of the first period. Kaler Swift knocked out of bounds there by number 14, Tankerbell. Re-enters at the back. So Quad City now operating at full defensive mode while Austin Sauce completes that cutting the track penalty he just received.
And good defense up front. You see the effects, and penalty kill was effective as that is it for the jam. Yes, just leaning over and say, oh yeah, that's it.
We are in our halftime. 146 Quad City, 80 to California. Not too far gone for a comeback. So what we're seeing at the end of this first period, a lot cleaner gameplay. We're not seeing the penalties that we were seeing in the first few minutes of this half. We were just seeing California just losing blockers and losing jammers left and right. So certainly both teams, I think, have gotten a feel for each other and cleaned up the penalties a little bit. So
yeah, and it's been a tale of two quarters. As in the we had 22 jams, and in the final 11 jams, Quad City 40, California Mayhem 45. We'll see what happens again in the second half. You are watching the final day of JRDA Championships right here at WFTDA.tv. Good morning and welcome back, whatever the case may be. Stand by here with
George Carnage.
Thank you. Quad City Rollers leading California despite that 5-2 jam to end the first period. Again, this the 9th place game. Following this will be the Tampa versus Sirens rather at 11 Eastern for 7th place. River City Riot versus Philly at 1 Eastern noon Central for 5th place. The 3rd place game will be at 3 Eastern noon Pacific with Mob City Misfits and the Attack Pack of Florida. And the championship game right here on the on the open track, excuse me, I'm over there. The open track, the Diamond City Miners versus Des Moines. That will be at 6 Eastern, 5 Central right here on WFTDA.tv. This is where it's at as we approach the beginning of the second half. California Mayhem are able to, as we mentioned before halftime, the game pacing a little better. Quad City, those 2 runaway jams, actually 3 runaway jams in the first few minutes kind of set the tone, but then pacing is much better. Now bridging the gap, the other story, California Mayhem, Kaler Swift with about 50 points scored and Mad Max with about 20. On Quad City's side, Ladies Man with 70 points unofficially and Awesome Sauce with 48. So watch out for them as we continue.
So before we get started, just some background on the two teams that you are seeing today. If you're unfamiliar with them, Quad City started 7 years ago. They initially didn't want to do a open gender team, but with some of the persistence from the skaters who were there, they did decide to make it open gender. The first practice of 7 years ago by Kitten O'War and Slam, who are skating in this game right now. So our first jam going, number 25 from California, Nacho Tape Boy taking the jammer star. And I believe that's Goldie Knox. Yes, Goldie Knox, number 101 for Quad City.
Oh, jumps lead. And takes lead. Earns lead. I don't like saying takes lead, but I do. Uh, 11:24, Hedrick with the drawback.
Yes, Nacho Tape Boy just kind of getting stuck there at the back of the pack.
Attempting a track cut there, the California skater with the hair. Shout out to those of you with it. Use it while you got it.
California skater. It is covering the number on the back of the jersey.
Big blocks all around. And so far, legal. That's the best kind.
I think the skater with the hair, I can't believe in 8 years of Derby I've never had that be an issue until now.
We don't meet the skaters like right beforehand. We're not close down the track, so we don't know them by sight. We have to look carefully for those numbers. And one blocker each to the penalty box.
We'll just call that hair skater.
I saw a 3.
That might be anaphylactic shock.
Okay. I think you're right.
Yeah. I can't read the numbers.
That's what Twitter's for. Send your complaints appropriately. Hashtag talk the number 2 JRDA. I'm being facetious. Just give us, say positive things. JRDA is all about positive stuff like that apex, or not even apex, straightaway hop. 15 points scored. Quad City strikes first, and that is the first double-digit jam for them since about 2/3 into the first period.
Kaylor Swift and Ladies Man fist bumping on the jam line right before our next jam. We're going in.
Told you about positivity.
Positivity, amazing sportsmanship. Our penalty box has one California pivot in it who is standing to complete that penalty in just a couple seconds.
And lead jam it is for Ladies Man, 2 for 2.
California down another blocker as the pivot re-enters the track. Kaylor Swift out of the pack on a scoring pass now. Ladies Man puts 4 on the board and calls it off.
Textbook jam, 165 to 80. Sure to join us live on Twitch Monday and Tuesday for the Junior Roller Derby World Cup, streaming live by WFTDA. Head to twitch.tv/WFTDA and watch both days for free. We will be here with it and all the awesomeness. I met one of the Team Great Britain skaters at the U.S. Mint the other day and their family. Lots of fun to be had, and I look forward to meeting many more of the skaters as the week progresses.
That's true. Now, that live feed for the World Cup is free. There is no charge to watch that, so even if you're at work, just tune in and listen to it in the background. We have teams here from Australia, Great Britain, Europe, Canada, and 2 from the USA, USA East and USA West. So it's going to be exciting, and again, that is free on twitch.tv/WFTDA.
And you'll see many more jammer races, no doubt, like the one between Awesome Sauce and Queen Relentless.
Hair skater. Okay,
Yeah.
329, so that's Rosilla. Rosilla's hair moved out of the way for just enough to see that ninth.
It's 323 versus 329, so we got it. We got it, y'all.
Thank you to that hit by Rosilla for moving that hair out of your way just enough that we can see your jersey.
And we know for sure that is Kaylor Swift and Goldie Knox.
Kaylor Swift tried to take through the pack on the outside, is being blocked by the Quad City jammer. I believe that's Hedrick, allowing 101 Goldie Knox to pick up lead for Quad City.
3 out of 4 lead jams for Quad City. There's a call off, and
3-0 on the board there. Kaylor 0, Goldie Knox 3 in that scoring pass.
back and forth. The one standout jam, of course, jam 1 of this period. 15 points scored by Quad City. And California just with 4 points so far, but we reset, and we have, again, 59 Queen Relentless against Ladies Man. Ladies Man with lead. .325, the pivot looking for a track cut, and
an apex jump there completed by Queen Relentless, who is now on a scoring pass. Ladies man puts 4 on the board. Listening to the advice of his bench, calls it off before Queen Relentless can do a whole lot of damage. 1 point on the board there by California. California is giving a shout out to the JRDA for an awesome event, and a big thank you to the sponsors and fans. And we will add to that, not just the fans here at the venue, but our fans who are tuning in on this rainy Sunday here in Feasterville.
1-2-6 Awesome Sauce. Set to go against 25 Nacho Tape Boy. And it is Nacho Tape Boy with lead jam. 2 out of 6 lead jams for California. It's been 2-1, 2-1. Awesome Sauce throwing the initial, just patient and very few jammer penalties the last 15 minutes of play or so. There was an opening, but it was taken up by number 5, Tornado. And through again is Nacho Tape Boy. 4. No, that is 5. That is 5.
This just with finesse just kind of keeps one skate up and the other skate just inside the track boundary by Kaylor Swift, who doesn't put any points on the board. 4 more up for Quad City.
But wasn't it fun to watch? 182, 110. Yeah, that will negate some of what California put up on the board previously. '59 Queen Relentless and 354 Ladies Man. Several whistles, none affecting the jammers.
California.
So no effect on the jammers.
California with lead jammer.
Sasquatch returning to play, set to run offense, given the speed approaching the pack. However, there's the call off.
That was Queen Relentless. Calls that jam off just before Ladies Man can put any points up. That's a 4-0 jam there in favor of California.
If my math is correct, California leading this period 44-21.
Number 26, or is that 126? Awesome Sauce. Jamming for Quad City. And awesome sauce is lead jammer.
We have, let's see, no, we have 26 Iron Man.
Iron Man, okay.
2-6 versus 1-2-6,
right.
yeah.
Iron Man's first time jamming so far in this game. Coming out with a 5-point Grand Slam pass.
Did see Iron Man in that kind of in that point in the first half when the game turned around, at least the pace turned around. 4 points scored at that point in time, 5 this time, and that ends it. 2 more on that pass, 7 total.
So while we're tuned in to WFTDA.TV, the 2018 WFTDA Continental Cups will be streamed live on WFTDA.TV, starting with North America East from Kalamazoo, Michigan on August 17th through 19th, hosted by Kalamazoo Derby Darlings. Then they'll go to Omaha, Nebraska. Our next jam underway. Taylor Swift against 101 Goldie Knox, who picks up lead jammer.
Clean game by the Jammers this period. I don't want to jinx anybody. You know, these tables are wood, are solid wood, or solid enough for us, but
it's plywood.
Yeah.
Looks like it counts. And 2 penalties at the end of that jam being assessed to Quad City. Their pivot, Jack Skatington, and number 4 Bulletproof, now seated in the box. This will give a pack advantage to California now as they send out number 59, Queen Relentless, to take on number 354, Ladies Man.
we are within, as far as gaps go, we are within not an insurmountable lead as lead jam was open and Queen earns it.
We've all seen what a jammer penalty or 2 can do to what we think is a secured lead in the game, so it's really not too late for California. Look at that. Look how her defensive blockers just opened up that wall for her. That's a 5-point scoring pass. Probably one of the first 5-point scoring passes we've seen by California in some time now.
First jammer penalty of the period, Ladies Man.
Okay. Queen,
and there's a call off, yeah.
Queen Relentless calling that jam off, leaving that rest of that power jam for another blocker. We have a team timeout now being called by California.
5 points scored by the California Mayhem, 119. 193.
So the 2018 WFTDA Continental Cups will be streamed live on WFTDA.TV, starting with North America East from Kalamazoo, Michigan on August 17th through the 19th, hosted by none other than the Kalamazoo Derby Darlings. Then we head to Omaha, Nebraska for North America West for our 2018 WFTDA Continental Cup, hosted by Omaha Roller Girls, August 24th through 26th. Our final Continental Cup will be in Europe, hosted by Birmingham Blitz Dames on October 27th through 28th. Watch passes go on sale July 31st, right around the corner, so stay tuned.
So we will see what the California Mayhem can do with this first power start and at least 10 seconds of same. I'm thinking closer to 20 by my recollection. Sending out the prolific jammer, Taylor Swift.
And just as I had suspected, they are sending Taylor Swift out to jam now. Quad City has the pack advantage, so it might not be that great for California. There's our jam starting whistle. Taylor Swift at the apex. She's knocked down. Still before a misconduct penalty being assessed to Taylor Swift. That's going to release Ladies Man from the penalty box.
So lead jam is open and earned by Ladies Man. Lead jam can occur out of the penalty box, and out of that jump is 5 points. Sasquatch seated in the box.
Ladies man on a scoring pass. There's a couple of hits there by California's blockers, but comes out. There's another 5 on the board. Just when we thought the score was going to be equalized a little bit, a jammer penalty always changes the day. Ladies man now back on the pack, taking on all 4 California blockers. Ladies man taken out of bounds there by California's blocker, number 280, Mad Max with the rollback, buying some time for Kayla Swift to come out and try to complete at least one scoring pass. There's a big opening. Kayla Swift takes full advantage of that, and there's 4 on the board by California. And there's a cutting the track penalty being assessed to ladies man.
Yeah, as he attempted to call off the jam, and we're off to the races, as Gretchen would say.
We've only got about 16 seconds left, but Kayla Swift's going to take full advantage. Attacks the defensive wall there by Quad City, knocked out of bounds on the inside. Kayla Swift up front now. I'm seeing a high block hand signal being assessed to presumably a Quad City blocker.
Ladies man is standing. Pink Nightmare is seated. And coach is wanting a word in the infield.
I don't think we're in. Oh, okay, there's the official review hand signal. Presumably reviewing points scored. I don't think there was a penalty, so we can only guess that the coach will either be trying to review what might have been a penalty that wasn't called, or possibly a points issue.
205-131, net 3 for Quad City on that jam as it stands now.
You are watching the 2018 Junior Roller Derby Association Championships live all weekend from Feasterville, Pennsylvania, northeast of Philadelphia on WFTDA.tv. Stay tuned all weekend for 2 tracks of action from the Open Division and Female Division, hosted by JRDA and Philly Roller Derby. Our officials are now huddled together to discuss the official review. Unfortunately, we do not have communication with the track, so don't have the actual details of the review.
We'll try to listen in to what the house announcers here, because I do see Daryl B. Payne in that dazzle of zebras.
That's a good name. As we talked about earlier, we've been seeing Kayla Swift do quite a bit of jamming so far in this game. And we have a note that Kayla is actually about to age out of junior roller derby, presumably. And we can only hope that she will pursue roller derby on an adult level under the WFTDA. Kayla Swift will be attending Bakersfield Community College studying general education. So congratulations, Kayla, from everybody up here with the announcing crew. And we're proud of you. Hopefully, at the end of this game here, we get a chance to high-five some of our skaters. We are down to about 13 minutes left to our game here in the second half.
Protesting the cut on ladies' man, call will stand. Ladies' man standing as well, worth mentioning.
Jamming for California. I hear those 2 whistles. We have California lead here with 25. Nacho, Tate Boy, taking advantage of this power jam. Nacho now up front. Some last-minute blocking by 11-24. Hedrick puts Nacho out of bounds on the inside at turn 3.
Yeah, forearm on ladies' man. Excuse me. And trippage, own skater. No jammer penalties, and all of a sudden, jammer penalties.
Not good. Not good. There's a call off by California.
Once again, icing ladies' man.
So we've been seeing some very strong defensive blocking by Hedrick, both up front and in back of the pack. We have a note here that Hedrick is also about to age out of the JRDA. And again, we can hope that Hedrick pursues roller derby past this mark. Hedrick is also with the USAR's Chicago Redhots Midwest All-Stars and has tried out for the men's Team USA. Our next jam here going, number 59, Queen Relentless, finishing up the extended power jam that California has had now in the past 2 jams. Lead jammer is open, and Ladies Man has re-entered from the box, so it is open to whichever jammer can get through first. Right now, Queen Relentless is ahead, but Ladies Man picking up lead, and a penalty being assessed to Queen Relentless. I didn't catch the hand signal. I think it might have been a low block, but I'm not positive.
Score in this period, California 55, Quad City 44. But time ticking away to bridge that gap, 11.5 minutes to go. A power jam may help here, and that is up to Ladies Man and Ladies Man's teammates. Though not as much offense run there, call off, and California jammer out, so we will start we will start with a clear penalty box.
Okay, jamming for the first time in the game, 11:24 Hedrick taking on number 18 Kaylor Swift. Penalty box empty going into this jam, and hopefully it can stay empty throughout it.
54-55, the running score in this period. But again, you see the opening between those two, and the opening on the inside, which is enjoyed by Hedrick as lead jammer. Hedrick has been quite the busy pivot in this game, and stays in again to complete that pass for 5 points.
California now down 1 blocker. Quad City down another block, 1 blocker as well. 1-1 in the box. Hedrick calls that jam off. That's 5 more on the board by Quad. 0 points scored there by California.
Quad City Rollers reasserting themselves as doing the math.
A 90-point lead now over California, and just shy of 10 minutes left of the game. Number 5150, Diva Destroyer, wearing the jammer star for the first time in the game, taking on 101 Goldie Knox. Goldie Knox finds that hole there on the outside and gets the lead. Diva Destroyer taken out of bounds there at the apex, still fighting to complete her initial pass.
Last 4 jams, Quad City 32, California 13.
Grand slam by Goldie Knox as Diva Destroyer is still stuck in the pack. We have a star pass from Diva Destroyer over to her pivot, number 25, Nacho Tape Boy. Nacho Tape Boy goes to the inside, is taken down by Hedrick.
Hedrick, I think, trying to call for a low block too, but that's up to the referees and subject to interpretation on their part and not his. But it's something some of the skaters do. Anyway, whoa! And maintaining speed through the pack is Goldie Knox, and almost ghost blocker on the jam ref trying to keep up with him. Jam continues, spin and through, and that completes the hard-fought initial pass.
Hedrick off to the penalty box. Some relief now for California's jammer. That's one less very strong blocker that they've got to contend with.
Yeah, but may have to call the shell answer man on this scoring pass, as that initial pass took a lot out of Nacho Tape Boy.
The scoring pass down, 4 on the board there to California. and 5 up by Goldie Knox.
Spins and on the inside with no more points. Okay, 24-4 net 20 for Quad City. That is 249-139. Quad City, again, building those points and building them to much more effect in the last 5 jams is what we had seen previously. Ladies man and 59 Queen Relentless. Queen almost had it, recycling up front. 3 blockers now, and it is lead jam for Ladies man.
Queen Relentless up the front of the pack. Quad City blockers recycling to keep Queen back, and she is still stuck at the back against a 3-wall. Queen Relentless attacks that 3-wall right up the middle, makes a little bit of progress, but gets knocked out of bounds there at the pivot line. And Queen steps through at the apex, finally completes her initial pass. Coming up behind her, though, is Ladies man with 4 points up by our jammer referee. Now Queen is in the pack, takes a tumble.
Pivot knocked her into an opposing blocker and maintained their position, but she still skated back a few feet to be safe.
California's 4 blockers swarming up, trying to hold back Ladies man, but Ladies man comes out with another 5 on the board. Quad City now up with a well over 100-point lead over California, and there's another scoring pass by Ladies man underway and complete.
Pink Nightmare standing up the jammer in turn 4, but everyone's okay after that physicality.
Pink Nightmare, wasn't that in a movie? Wasn't that in that Christmas movie? with the big rabbit suit or something. The BB gun movie.
Hops through, but a forearm assessed on Ladies man.
Jammer penalty now to Quad City, while Queen Relentless is on the track still, just trying to close that gap up a little bit. A scoring pass down by Queen Relentless puts 5 more California points on the board, and that jam over. So California taking a power start on this next jam. 0-8 for California. Killawilla did some jamming a little earlier on in the game, so we'll see how Killawilla does in this power start.
Sasquatch and Sacagawea with a little congratulatory dancing for half a second at the end of that jam. So, good sportsmanship, as we like to see. 13-13. After all that fun, that jam is a wash. However, yes, power start for California Mayhem, as you mentioned. 262-152, under 5 minutes to go following this official timeout. This will conclude game number 1, which is for 9th place. These teams 9 and 10 entering. Following that, at 11 a.m., Tampa will meet the Sirens of Savannah, Georgia. That will be at 11 Eastern. That will be for 7th place. River City Riots versus Philly at 1 p.m. Eastern, noon Central Time. That will be for 5th place. 3rd place game will be at 3 p.m. Eastern, noon Pacific, as Mob City Misfits meet the Attack Pack of St. Petersburg, Florida, and the championship, that's the 3rd place game again. The championship game, 6 Eastern, 5 Central, right here at WFTDA.TV, the Diamond City Miners versus Des Moines.
I watched those Diamond City games, and they are a very professional-looking team, very impressive in their skill. Our official timeout is over. Our jam is started. Killawilla taking the jammer star unopposed right now on a power start. California also down 1 blocker. So lead jammer is still open. Even though California had a power start, Killawilla is getting blocked pretty effectively by Quad City's defensive wall there. Killawilla is stuck at the back of the pack. Quad City buying the time that they need for Ladies man to come out of that penalty box following that penalty that he earned just a little bit ago. And
there you go.
Ladies man has picked up lead jammer in despite of the power start not working in their advantage. Ladies man knocked out of bounds by number 5 from California, Tornado. Good block by Tornado, but ladies man, okay.
Both Jamers having to reset in that straightaway, yeah.
Ladies man is taken out of bounds again. That's 323. Anaphylactic shock with the block there. Ladies man finally gets through after a little bit of fighting and puts 5 on the board in a grand slam scoring pass.
Blocked out again is Kilawilla, and just brushes off the attempt by the pivot. 36 seconds to go in the jam. 5-0 so far, and there's another 5, making it 10.
Oh, a cutting the track penalty being assessed to Kilawilla now, helping Quad City to secure their already strong dominance in this game. Just a couple minutes left to our official period clock. Ladies man still on the track. Jukes past California's defensive wall, and there's another 5 on the board for Quad City.
That's it. We will have about 2:10 to go in the game when the jam picks up. 20 points scored by Quad City. 24 2 jams ago, 13 in the middle. So, yes, Quad City widening that gap and on track to certain victory here and the 9th place win in the Open Division bracket of the JRDA this year.
130-point lead by Quad City. Quad City also on this power start, not helping California by any means.
Number 5, Disgracer, first time jamming in this game.
Disgracer about to age out of the JRDA. Still has an established lead. California's blockers swarming to the front to reform their defensive wall. Disgracer having a little bit of trouble getting past California's 4 wall up front. So lead can still actually go to Kilawilla if Killa can get up front.
Strictly defensive pack, and it's been a while since we've seen same in this game. 2 blockers in the penalty box, 1 each, and make that 2 for Quad City. Disgracer scoring and calls off the jam to ensure at least 1 more jam.
We would like to give a shout out to number 13 on California, Relentless. Relentless will be aging out of Junior Roller Derby, and Relentless will be attending Boise State University. So congratulations, Relentless. Good job, and we hope to see you skating in the higher level of roller derby after you age out of JRDA. 44 seconds left to our official period clock. A timeout being called, possibly. We're having a lot of bleed through where our 2 rinks here are side by side, so it's kind of hard to differentiate where the whistles are coming from.
Maybe if there was a tournament once where there were 4 tracks in a single room, and half the referees used Fox 40 whistles, and the other half had an off-brand. It kind of worked, but then they also shouted when the jam was dead.
Fox 40 also has that other whistle now that is significantly more obnoxious. You can differentiate them.
Put it that way.
By obnoxious, I don't mean that in a derogatory way. That's a good thing.
Into the air on that attempt, and lead jam nonetheless for Kaylor Swift.
That's Hedrick, who we've been seeing as a very strong blocker on the track, defensive blocker. Hedrick, a little bit of a apex jump by a blocker there by Hedrick. Kaylor Swift coming out with lead jammer.
And we have a race to close us out here as the period clock will most likely end, and definitely will at this point in time. Scoring pass by everyone, but namely Goldie Knox.
Yep. Kaylor Swift is being held up by Quad City's defensive wall. Our period clock has expired, so when this jam ends, our game will be over.
Blocked out, and it'll be up to Kaylor Swift to call it. 8-4 so far in this jam. Otherwise, we will skate another 55 seconds. And we, meaning they, will skate another 55 seconds.
We will watch them skate. Kaylor Swift now finds a hole, goes through, just trying to do everything she can in the last couple seconds of this game. 4 on the board by Kaler.
8-8, evening up the jam as it stands now, 25 seconds to go.
Hedrick with a hit on Kaler Swift. Kaler Swift kind of just 180s around that hit, not letting it affect her that much, but 2 strong blockers are putting a very solid hold on Kaler Swift. 10 seconds up to our jam.
Might as well keep it going.
Yep. There's our 4 whistles. The jam is over. The game is over. Unofficial final. Quad City 299. California 163. It's our unofficial final. Our referees will confer with the scorekeepers, make sure that everything looks good, and then we will have an official score.
Congratulations to both jammers on that jam. 12-11, that won for Quad City. But once again, the Quad City Rollers of Bettendorf, Iowa, doing their town and their region proud. 299-163. There's the rolling whistle, and that will be final.
Okay, 299-163 in favor of Quad City, and that's a game that just goes to show you exactly what those jammer penalties can do, because those jammer penalties were just racking up in the first half, and definitely they set that lead very early in the game for Quad City.
Right, almost 3 games in 1. We had that part in the first half of the first period. The second half of the first period, California started to make a comeback. However, the gap unable to be bridged, and then the final part of the game here, Quad City with several double-digit jams concurrently, and back to back to back, however you want to mention it, and that's what did it. 299-163 it is. Our next game will be Tampa versus the Sirens of Savannah, coming up at 11 a.m. Eastern time or thereabouts, right here at WFTDA.tv. It's championship game. Don't you go anywhere.
That's right. We'll be here all weekend long in Feasterville. It's just a rainy Sunday morning here, so stick with us. We have this live feed the rest of the day, and then we'll start our World Cup tomorrow.